Let me show you what I mean. First, you have these 7 churches, and we see that in Revelation 2 and 3, and that's a description of the believer's experience from the apostolic age in the first century through the last days. And it culminates with the second coming of the Messiah. And then in Revelation 4 and 5, and you see the open door in heaven and a throne room scene. And so that's what we see in the 7 churches. In the 7 seals, we see something very similar, where in seals 1 through 6, we have a review of the church age up until the time of the end. But unlike the 7 churches, we have what's called a parenthetical prophecy in the sealing of the 144,000, and we see that in Revelation chapter 7. And this is the sealing of the Most High God's people during the time of the end. So the 6th seal takes us up until what would be the time of the end, and then you have the sealing of the 144,000 that is to take place before the 7th seal, which is when heaven is empty for about the space of half an hour, and that is when the close of probation is in effect, meaning all decisions have been made at that point. So roughly speaking, the 7 churches and the 7 seals cover the same periods of time, meaning the church's experience from the first century in the apostolic age up and through the second coming of the Messiah. Now, these 7 trumpets, another timeline, but a different series. So the 7 trumpets here in Revelation 8 and 9, they announce the Messiah's return after the close of probation, meaning after all decisions have been made. And it's happening inside the 7th seal when heaven is empty about the space of half an hour. Now, there is a parenthetical prophecy in Revelation 10 and 11 that is essentially an end-time warning for the Most High's people to return to His Word, the Bible, as the way to escape His wrath. So it's calling people back to the Word, calling people to a close relationship with the Word in following the Word and following Christ, and that will be the way of escape for people in the end times, and a way to escape the wrath that is what the 7 trumpets are. Because then you have the 7th trumpet in Revelation 11, and it is essentially announcing the second coming of the Messiah. And same thing with the 7 last plagues. Plagues 1 through 6, again, this is happening after all decisions have been made. Plagues 1 through 6 is judgment on those who have the mark of the beast. So those who elected to follow the beast and to worship the beast and accept his mark in their hand or forehead, they will be the ones to receive the plagues that are falling. And in the midst of that, in the 6th plague, you see Satan impersonates the return of the Messiah in the place called Armageddon. And then you see the 7th plague, where it says in Revelation 16:17, it is done. And that again is the announcing the second coming of the Messiah. And you see here you have the same language: lightning, voices, thunderings, earthquake, and hail. You have the same thing in the 7th last plague: voices, thunders, lightnings, earthquake, and it says great hail. So this is just to show that Revelation is broken up into series of 7s, and it takes us all the way through. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then it skips all the way to 16 to complete those series. And again, we're going to be filling in these details, but what I'm showing you here is that the 7 churches and the 7 seals cover the same time frame, and the 7 trumpets and the 7 last plagues also cover a different time frame, but they're both reflecting the same time periods. Okay, so let's get back